What's going on, Sens fans? This is Jack and Jacob back with another post-game coverage episode. Today is February 9th, and that was just against Edmonton. We lost 3-2, and not for lack of effort, for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. That was chalk that one up to, not being able to vary their chances there, and then I guess Hogberg let in a few soft ones a couple weeks ago, goals like that would have crippled this team, and especially against the Oilers, they would have just folded. But
yeah, absolutely,
they went right back at them and just absolutely dominated after Murray went back in net. So that's an encouraging sign for sure.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's one of the best offensive performances we've seen in a while from this team.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen a lot from some big names like Stutzel's been playing well. Batherson's been playing well. Kachuk's been playing well. But tonight, Evgeny Dadonov played excellent.
This was his best game by a mile for sure.
Oh, yeah, at least a mile.
Just absolutely flying out there, and he's showing why that's the guy that we picked up in the off season.
Yeah, and we said this last night. He's a sniper that signed a $5 million deal, and that was his second goal last night. This goal, wouldn't really call it a sniper's goal. He kind of shot it through Mikko Koskinen.
Yeah,
but it was nonetheless a great goal. Nice breakaway, and he finished it. So
he was kind of advertised as just a finisher, which so far he hasn't really done. But he does create a lot for himself, which I didn't really expect.
Mm-hmm.
And he's really, really good on puck protection, which I like as well. So I'm very happy with his game tonight for sure. He was a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to see him flying now. He's doing excellent. He's fitting in really well now. And I think he started this game on the third line. He brought himself up really quickly.
Yeah, no, and that line with White and Paul was just on fire. And then we got a comment here, Daddy's home. Yeah.
Daddy is home.
He is home. That's goals in back-to-back games for him. And that's what a sniper needs to get back on track for sure.
Yeah, I saw. Actually, it was Mark Mathot that tweeted out, saying so is that what Sens fan do? Is call him Daddy? And then I saw one reply that I loved. It was that's what we call him now. But until and when he hits 10 goals, we'll start calling him Father.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah.
So we can just jump into the stats first and kind of talk about these.
Let's go for it. Got some ugly ones.
Yeah, we do. I don't know where I am right now. Hold on. Sorry.
That's all good.
So yeah, come down to Ottawa. Marcus Hogberg, not a great start.
No.
Arguably that second goal wasn't on him. There were about 7 people in front of him, but his positioning was just terrible tonight.
So for that second one in specific, because the other two were just 100% on him, but the second one, I think it was Darren Dreger in the intermission. He was saying, so he said at the beginning of the game, he was like, they need better goaltending, and they've gotten it from Murray so far in the last week or so. And then, but they go to Hogberg, and he hasn't been great. And he was like, Dreger specifically was trying to be a little easy on him, not trying to rip him.
Yeah.
But then in the first intermission, or maybe it was the second after that third goal, he was like that's a minor hockey league save that he was unable to make and stuff. And it's true. It's not,
it is.
And it's the NHL, right? You got to be able to stop those pucks. It's frustrating to watch, especially when the team plays like that. But luckily, it seems that they've turned the corner on when their goalie hasn't played well.
Yeah, they get some drive from it. They're okay, so we kind of have to pick it up a little bit, and we saw that really quickly in this game.
No, exactly. And I think putting Murray in, he only faced 8 shots, it looks like. But they were all pretty tough saves to make, and he did a really good job. Yeah. So it's nice seeing the team having confidence in their starting goalie, because I think he's going to play a lot down the stretch, and he might as well, right?
Yeah.
So, because I don't think the Sens are going to climb out of this basement. The only team I can see them passing at this point is Vancouver.
Yeah, that's a whole clown car in itself.
Honestly, that'd be, I don't know when they play next week, but it'll be a fun series to watch whenever it happens, because it's not too out of reach.
Yeah, they're underperforming by a lot.
Our
editor, actually, Riley, wants to know what we think happened with Marcus Hogberg. It was just
it was
the positioning.
Shots. 13.
13, yeah. But yeah, it was just the positioning. Like, he just wasn't. They were easy saves to make.
Well, the first one he was positioned. He was positioned right in the first one, but it just went through. He just didn't have a stick down, which I guess would have stopped that. Like, you don't let in a 5-hole goal from that far when you're already down if you haven't done something wrong. So that,
and it never came off the ice. Like,
no, it was just right along the ice, like just textbook one that you want to have back. The second one, I mean, there were bodies in front, but at the same time, that's what a goalie's for. Like, he just tracked it, which is what the Jamie McLeod was saying on the broadcast. He just tracked it too late, which you can live with.
Yeah.
But man, the third one was just an all-time. It reminded me a lot of the Draisaitl goal from the back in Edmonton that he let in. Yeah. The one in Edmonton that Hogberg let in, because it was just he was sliding too far to that one side, and like you see it a lot where goalies will go one side and then they'll like cut back quickly, but he just wasn't able to. He like slipped or something. So, but I'm glad that DJ decided at that point he's there. I've seen enough, and I would not be surprised if they move Hogberg on. I think he's on a one-way deal, so he'd have to be on waivers. But I wouldn't be surprised if they put Gustafson in the backup role for the road trip.
Well, yeah, I mean, so if we put Hogberg on waivers, then we have Gustafson back up on the taxi squad that we can bring in. And in the AHL, we're running with Decord and Mandelays. They both played excellent last year, so I don't see a reason that can't carry this Belleville team to something. Yeah, no,
and I think in terms of prospects, they're set up pretty well. But Hogberg was kind of the first one to come up as the young guy coming in, and he's not that much younger than Murray.
No, he's the same age.
It'll be good to see Gustafson, because I think he kind of struggled to get his feet in the AHL. So hopefully we do see him in a backup role.
And like we got him quite a while ago.
Yeah.
And he was really exciting when he came in, and he kind of faded out a little bit. But I think he's starting to come back into those conversations. I mean, we traded.
I agree.
Arguably, we traded a third liner max in Derek Brassard for him, and we ended up getting Ian Cole out of that.
That was a great trade.
Yeah, it was. We got Ian Cole, who we flipped to Colorado for somebody. I don't remember who.
I think it was just a pick, maybe.
Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah. So Jarmock, can the Sens play a better game and lose? Hogberg was atrocious. Agreed. That was. I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say that they played way better than the Oilers in the first half, at least. But once Murray got in, it was so. And there were so many saves that Murray made where I'm like, no chance Hogberg would have had those.
Yeah.
However, to his credit, to Hogberg's credit, he made some pretty good saves in the first period, I will say. Like, just some. There was that 2-on-1 with Nugent Hopkins where it's like you kind of wash the bad one, but when the bad ones start piling up, it just at the end of the day, you got to stop it.
And then we have Quinn Murphy. Analytics team should have told DJ to pull the goalie on the 4-minute power play. I mean, I don't know if that's a great idea. I mean,
it wouldn't have worked. It would have been in the back of the net because the Oilers had the puck more, it seemed like.
Yeah. Edmonton, that first minute of that 4-minute power play was in our zone.
Yeah.
It was not good. I mean, the power play ended up looking all right, all in all, but just flow was not there.
No, not at all.
Yeah. And
well, I was just gonna say about the power play, like at the end, when Stützle and Batherson were on their strong sides, when it was scrambly there, it kind of, if they were on their one-timer sides, I feel like they would have been in the back of the net.
Yeah, I agree.
That was tough because there was definitely an opportunity there.
Yeah.
Which comment? I want to show this one actually because that's a good point.
Yeah, it is.
We can point to the stats on that one too. So Norris and Jimmy need to stay on separate lines, and they do because they were both -3.
Yeah.
Tonight, not ideal for your two rookies. I did like when they threw them out there with Batherson. Like there's nothing wrong with throwing out a line looking for some offense.
Yeah, absolutely. But they don't need to play all game together.
And they also don't need to play with Austin Watson. I think they had one good shift where they were kind of all over the place in the offensive zone, but that's it. Stützle didn't have a great game tonight.
He didn't.
He's kind of faded off since that Montreal game in the last 3, but it'll come for him. He was just getting muscled off the puck a lot, and he's a 19-year-old, so that's going to happen. Made a couple nice passes. On the other side, though, your dream kind of came to fruition tonight. It was Batherson, Stützle, and Norris, and you got Tkachuk with Tierney and Brown, and Tkachuk was a monster tonight.
He was, and everywhere. I saw a lot of people give him flack for putting that first line out there with Tierney and Brown. Not at all. They looked really good.
Tierney's got legs all of a sudden. I don't know where they came from, but he's not dumping it in all the time. He's getting controlled entries. Yep. Connor Brown with a nice goal again, nice tip at the beginning.
Finally, he got one. Was it last game? Is that 2 games in a row for him? Or
it was in Montreal. It was Montreal. He scored, yeah.
But that's 2 quick ones, 2 in the last 3 games, maybe 4. I don't remember which game it was. But that's Connor Brown's had so many chances this season.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to see him get on the board. So
for sure. So the 2 guys who did score, it might be a bit of a monkey off the back situation, especially for Dadonov, because maybe last night he wasn't feeling like he earned that one, but this one he definitely worked for. So
yeah, absolutely. And it was a beautiful pass from Mike Riley, which I want to compliment on.
So I didn't see the pass. I just saw him get sprung on the breakaway, and then I looked at the replay, and I'm like, who passed that? Was it Wolanin or Chabot? And it's Riley. I'm like, no, this guy just bought himself 3 more games. But to be fair, he's been great too.
I think over the last 2 games, I think he bought himself those 3 games. I think he's actually earned it.
And the D looked fantastic tonight, in my opinion.
They did.
I don't know if you were noticing that as well, but Zaitsev had one of his better games of the year.
He did, and he got the assist to show for it too.
Zub was fantastic again.
Yep.
And
Thomas Chabot with 27 and a half minutes.
Look at the shots too.
I know, 7 shots.
7 shots. That's
same with. I think I have it in the stats that him and Dadonov have 6, but he must have got one late. But just exactly what you want to see from Thomas Chabot.
Absolutely.
He played almost a flawless game. There might have been a few hiccups here and there that he turned it over or whatever, but it's everything I'd want to see out of a game of Chabot.
That's what he's advertised as, and getting the pucks through is so big. That just creates 7 shots from Chabot. When does that happen in a game? That's what contributes to getting 40 a night.
Yeah, exactly.
And while you've got the ice time up there, someone said Stepan needs to get benched, and he did not play a ton tonight.
No, only 11 minutes. That 4th line, Stepan, Galchenyuk, and Watson all played less than 10 minutes, and then Stepan with some penalty kill time.
So when the lines come out for the game tonight, I'm thinking it was Watson with Norris and Stützle, and then you got Tkachuk with Tierney and Brown, and then Batherson with Galchenyuk and Stepan, and it's what are they doing? But then you look at the ice time for the rest of the game. The only guy who probably didn't get enough minutes is Norris, but he also didn't have a great game. So Norris is faltering a little bit, which is a little concerning to see. And I don't know if you're watching the TSN broadcast, Jacob, but so did you see Garriock in the first intermission?
I
causing
did.
some concern on the Twitter. And actually TSN 1200 was talking about it as well, that they're apparently Batherson's close to being scratched, and they want to see more from him and think he's putting too much pressure on himself. So here's what I got to say about that. He hasn't played great, right? He's kind of faltered, I guess, and hasn't been putting up the assists and stuff, and that's kind of why the offense is probably struggling a little bit. But Garriock is the reporter where everything that he says is pretty much coming directly from the team. Yeah. So if they're saying that, and they're saying, I think he's just putting too much pressure on himself, but he's close to being scratched, it's that's pressure. Why would he not be putting pressure on himself to try and do more if he's close to being scratched? It's so weird that, and especially that the power play is struggling. Batherson's far from the problem on the power play.
Yeah, he's playing great on the power play.
It just doesn't make any sense. So I don't know if it's a scare tactic or whatever it is, but what a strange just intermission segment that was. I don't understand what the point of it was.
Yeah, I don't either, because realistically, I really don't think Batherson is close to being a scratch as a fan.
No.
Maybe internally there's some other conversations going on.
Right.
But as an Ottawa fan, I can't see any reason Batherson doesn't stay on this team until he goes to free agency or gets traded.
Yeah, and Like he had 16 minutes tonight, right? That's not
that's
low.
not close to being scratched.
No, that's not low at all. And so I just found that really strange that was they made a point there of pointing that out. I guess that he was close to being a scratch because a strange thing from the team to feed Garriock, in my opinion. I don't understand that at all.
Yeah, especially with they're doing all these things right with the youth movement, getting Logan Brown on the taxi squad.
Yeah, well, I said some other stuff about Brown too. It's just we don't have to get into that, but it's just about if they need to trade him, they can. It's he's played 20 games for the team.
Yeah, try him out a little more. Yeah, I'm not totally opposed to trading him. Personally,
me neither. I don't know where there's a spot for him long term.
Yeah, me either. We just have too many centers that either I don't know if he's gonna be one of the better centers on this team because we already have enough, and if he's a right winger, sure, there's lots of room, but there's just not enough room for centers.
Agreed. So I don't know. We'll see where they go from here. They're hitting the road after this one for about 5 games, I think.
Yeah.
So we'll see how this goes. We got it's I think Winnipeg for 2 and then 3 in Toronto.
Yeah, that'll be a tough road trip.
Yes, indeed. It would be nice if they could snag 1 or 2.
Yeah,
or steal a couple points here and there. It's a little strange that they've only been to overtime once. That in all these close games. Like last year, I feel like we went to overtime every game.
Yeah, it really feels like games. We did.
Yeah.
So yeah, real quickly we can get back into the stats and go over a few things. Kachuk taking big face-offs, 3 out of 4.
The monster.
Obviously, that's not a lot, but they're big ones.
Look at our boy Tierney.
I know Tierney, 10 for 14 at 71%.
Nice.
Awesome. Nick Paul doing better than his last game. I think last game was the first time he ever took face-offs, and he took a couple tonight and did good. Even Norris. Oh, step on down at 17% on the draws.
Yikes.
Oof.
Norris has always been steady, hasn't he?
Yeah, Norris has always been right around that 58%.
Every game.
There were a few games he was down in the 30s, but I mean, some games, I don't know. Some games you can't have them all.
So the faceoffs were in the Sens' favor tonight. Other than Draisaitl, aside from the Sens, how many guys took faceoffs for the Sens? It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different people, and not just 1 or 2, multiple, right?
Yeah. I
go to the Oilers, and all people took faceoffs. There were 4 centermen only took faceoffs, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
and then So other than Draisaitl, who was 10 for 17, McDavid wins 6, loses 9. He's 40%. Turris was 2 and wins 2, loses 4, and then Kara wins 3, loses 4. So Sens dominated the circle tonight.
Yeah, and
which helped them.
To see McDavid go under 50%, that's impressive for this team.
Definitely.
He's a strong guy.
Yeah, and so that's encouraging for sure, and especially Norris. I think rookies struggle the most in the circle, so good for him for winning those.
Yep.
Most of them, anyways.
I also just wanted to mention Wolanin only 13 and a half minutes.
I thought he was good.
He was good. I think he could have played a little more, been a little more noticeable, but
yeah. He made a nice play on McDavid, I think, at the end there, that 2-on-1. He just kind of cut him off, so he forced him into a 2-on-1, which was nice.
Yep.
And I mean, one of the bonuses tonight was that they held McDavid and Draisaitl, off the score sheet.
Yep. So
barely with the empty netter at the end, but they still did it.
So close. How does Draisaitl hit an empty net post?
Yeah, that's lucky. But so aside from Draisaitl scoring, he got 2 points yesterday, 2 real points. They held McDavid to a single point, and it was on an empty net goal last night.
And then nothing this game.
In 2 games. That's impressive.
It really is. That's something that's noteworthy.
That's a testament to Matt Murray, and I think that the overall defensive play of the team and the way they did a couple highlights on how they were closing him out and stuff, and they're doing a great job. So that's encouraging, especially moving forward with the young guys playing top players. How do they control them and stuff? Because it's gonna be important, obviously down the road if they end up in a playoff series. That's the goal, right? So,
Says like 16. Do you think the Sens can be cup contenders in the next 3 years? What do you think?
Well, I think the development of Tim Stützle is imperative for that because let's say he stays the way he is right now and just gets a bit stronger, which is a very real possibility. Like, and he'll still be a very impactful NHL player. I don't think they will be, but the team when they get if they had a good goalie, like which they do now, but if they had it from the start, I think their record would be a lot different. Because I can probably count on one hand how many games they deserve to lose this season, like overall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That road trip felt like they let in like just every shot, and it was just brutal. The team save percentage, they're the bottom of the league in team save percentage is what the stat is, I think. So that'll probably start declining with Murray.
Yeah.
But I don't think that they can be unless Stützle takes like drastic steps in the next 3 years anyways. That's not saying down the road they can't be, but that's just my opinion.
The last 4 games, Matt Murray has a total save percentage of .947, and that includes his just 9 shots tonight. So, like, he's – I don't know. I'm starting to get some faith in him. I think he might be able to – if we can get some more offensive gifts up front, then I think then we can win games.
The scoring is an issue. They've got 4 goals in the last 3 games. That's not really going to cut it.
Yeah.
But so that'll come. They're going to break through eventually. Just don't know when.
Yeah, really, though. And then A.A. Burgode, sorry if I mispronounced that. Can you guys recall Søgaard to the AHL or NHL team? He's slightly too good for the Danish league. Yeah, he's destroying the Danish league right now.
Is he?
Yeah. I don't know his stats off the top of my head, but I saw a message. I think it was Derek Lee. Let me double check before I say this.
So I was just going to say, like, I don't think he would be up in the AHL anyways in a normal year. I think he'd keep playing where he is right now. And then if there's an ECHL, I feel like he'd be up at some point.
Yeah.
That would be my best guess. But there is no ECHL this year. So unfortunately, he's stuck where...
Yeah, like I think he's doing fine where he is right now. And we're set everywhere else that we need to have goalies.
Yes.
So yeah, if we can get him somewhere playing closer to home, then great.
For sure.
But anyway, Brennan Detzler with New Era Sens, he said he's happy Søgaard is killing it, but at the same time, he's the size of a small hippopotamus and plays against guys who most likely wouldn't make the ECHL. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to add that in.
It all depends on the kind of shots you're facing every night. So I guess we just move on to 3 stars here. All right.
Yeah, sure. So who do you got for tonight?
All right. So I'm going to go 3rd star is going to be Colin White. I really liked the way that he just had like an extra gear tonight, it felt like, and him and Dadonov were great together for some reason.
Yeah, they were.
I don't know if they've played together before. I feel like they have, but they were fantastic together. He was moving the puck well. And then my 2nd star, I'm going to go with Brady Tkachuk. Just 21 minutes of ice. That's probably the most he's played ever, I feel like. That's what you want. He's your best forward, right? Throw him out all the time, especially when he's making plays happen.
Yeah, 4 shots and 4 hits.
He hasn't scored any greasy goals yet this year, and those are going to come because they had that one play. I think it was all the 4th line guys, but they were just jamming away at it in front, and somehow it stayed out. Yeah, those are going to go in eventually, right?
Oh yeah, and Brady's always going to be rated to pot that in. So
exactly. So I loved his. I think I said last night he was quiet.
Yeah,
great tonight, and then 1st star I'll go with Evgeny Dadonov. Just. We said it at the beginning. He took over, and this was why they signed him to put the puck in net, and he did that, and he was the best player on the ice for both teams. To be quite honest, I thought
I think so too.
For sure. Yeah.
He definitely set into his own spot, and so I'll just branch right off that. Like he's my 1st star, and so yeah, like everything you just said, he did everything right tonight. He got that goal. That it's not really what we signed him to score those goals, but I mean he's scoring goals now, so whatever.
They all count.
Yeah, they all count, and he's playing great hockey, whether it shows up on the score sheet or not. These last 2 games. My second star, I'm gonna go our penalty kill, actually.
Nice. Okay.
Our penalty kill in general. Just they did a really good job. That's 7 or 8 power plays in a row that we've shut Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl out.
That's impressive. It doesn't just happen to any team.
No, not at all. And we just went from like rock bottom all the way up to facing the top talent, and like just shutting them right out. So I'm going to give a shout out to the penalty kill there for my second star. Good call. Then my third star, I'm gonna go Thomas Chabot. He just played a really complete game tonight. That he blocked a shot. He was one of our best goalies tonight in the last second of the game. That was really good to see him. Just, it didn't matter. Like, that was the end of the game, but he still wanted just like for the pride.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No freebies, and that's perfect. So I love Chabot too. Great game for him.
Yeah, so that's pretty much all I have. You have anything else to add?
Not really. No, nothing.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for coming to join us and leaving your comments and everything. We love answering them. And we will. Oh, we actually have another one here real quick from Natty. Does Gustafsson become the backup with Decord in Belleville? I have no faith in Hogberg. I think so. Gustafsson at least gets a chance to prove that he should be over Hogberg. We'll see how that goes. But as of right now, definitely give him the chance.
You have to at this point. And I honestly, I wouldn't mind putting Hogberg back in the AHL to see what he can do, right?
Yeah, sure.
If I am sure he'll clear waivers. I think he has to go on waivers, but I wouldn't be opposed to that. And maybe even he wouldn't, right? Get some lower competition, just get the confidence back.
That might even be all it is. Just,
yeah, for sure.
All right. So, thank you everybody for joining us, and we will catch you after the next game. Thank you.